Pringles are just another type of potato chip, you're in for a surprise. These crispy, perfectly shaped snacks don't come from sliced potatoes like regular chips. So, what are they really made of? How do they all look identical, with the same curve, the same crunch, and the same taste every single time? There's a secret process behind it, and it's nothing like you expect. Inside massive factories, Pringles go through a carefully controlled scientific process that transforms simple ingredients into the world's most uniform chips. But how does it all happen? How does each Pringle get its signature shape without breaking? And why do they come in a can instead of a bag? Get ready to uncover the fascinating step-by-step journey of how Pringles are made from raw ingredients to the perfectly stacked chips in your hands. Pringles were not created by accident. They were designed to fix a problem that frustrated snack lovers for years. Regular potato chips are fragile, greasy, and packed in air-filled bags that don't protect them from breaking. By the time you open the bag, most of the chips are crushed into tiny pieces. Back in the 1950s, snack companies knew they needed a better solution. A chip that was sturdy, stackable, and stayed fresh longer. That's when Pringles came into existence. Unlike traditional chips, Pringles are not made by simply slicing potatoes. Instead, they follow an advanced factory process where every chip is engineered to have the same shape, texture, and crunch. The ingredients are mixed, rolled into dough, cut into perfect ovals, fried to crisp perfection, coated with seasoning, and finally stacked into their signature can. It's not just food, it's food science in action. But how exactly does this process work? What happens inside the factory to ensure every single chip looks and tastes the same? Let's take a step-by-step journey into the fascinating world of Pringles manufacturing, uncovering the secrets behind their perfect shape, addictive crunch, and long-lasting freshness. Most potato chips are made by slicing whole potatoes into thin pieces and frying them. But Pringles are completely different. They don't come from whole potatoes at all. Instead, they begin as a specially formulated dough. This process is what gives Pringles their consistent shape, smooth texture, and perfect crunch. Instead of cutting potatoes into irregular pieces, factories engineer the dough to ensure that every single chip looks and tastes exactly the same. To create this unique dough, factories use a precise blend of dehydrated potato flakes, wheat starch, corn flour, rice flour, vegetable oils, and salt. These ingredients are carefully measured and mixed to achieve the ideal balance of crunch and flavor. The main ingredient, potato flakes, makes up about 42% of the dough, ensuring that Pringles still retain their potato-like taste. Additional flavoring agents and emulsifiers are included to give the dough a smooth, uniform texture that holds together well during shaping and frying. Once all the ingredients are combined, large industrial mixers blend them into a fine, soft dough. Unlike bread or cookie dough, this mixture is not meant to be stretchy or sticky. Instead, it needs to be light, moldable, and crisp after frying. The dough's consistency must be perfect, not too dry, not too wet, so that every chip maintains its signature crunch. If the dough is off even slightly, it could affect the entire batch, making the chips too thick, too thin, or unevenly cooked. After mixing, the dough is rolled out into large, thin sheets, similar to pasta dough, but even finer. This marks the beginning of the signature Pringles shape. Unlike traditional chips that are cut randomly from potato slices, Pringles are carefully shaped from this dough, ensuring each chip is identical. Now that the dough is ready, it's time for the next step. Now that the dough is ready, it needs to be shaped into chips. But how does Pringles ensure that every single chip looks exactly the same? The dough is passed through huge rollers, which flatten it into an ultra-thin sheet, only a few millimeters thick. These rollers are carefully controlled to ensure each batch is perfectly even. avoiding lumps or air pockets. If the dough is too thick, the chips won't be crispy. If it's too thin, they'll break. Once the dough reaches the perfect thickness, a specialized cutting machine stamps out the Pringles oval shape. Unlike normal chips, which are all different sizes, every single Pringle is cut to be exactly the same. The leftover dough between the cutouts is removed, recycled, and used again, so there's no waste. Now these raw chips are ready for their next crucial step, shaping into the famous Pringles curve. One of the most fascinating things about Pringles is their perfect curved shape. Unlike regular potato chips that break easily and come in random shapes, Pringles all look identical. And this isn't just for appearance. Their signature curve is called a hyperbolic paraboloid, a complex mathematical shape that serves an important purpose. This unique design is what makes Pringles stronger, more stable, and less likely to break compared to traditional chips. Once the dough is cut into individual pieces, each chip is placed onto a moving belt that has curved molds. As the chips travel along the belt, these molds gently press them into their famous saddle shape. This shaping process happens quickly, ensuring that every single chip gets the exact same curve before moving on to the next stage. Without this step, the chips would remain flat, and that would completely change the way they feel and crunch when eaten. But why this specific curved shape? The answer lies in physics. A flat chip has weak points and can easily crack under pressure. However, when a chip is curved like a Pringle, the force applied to it is spread out evenly across the entire surface. This means that instead of breaking in the middle, the chip is able to handle more pressure without snapping. This is also why Pringles can be stacked neatly on top of each other without crumbling inside the tube. Another advantage of this saddle-shaped design is that it makes Pringles more fun and satisfying to eat. When you place one on your tongue, it sits comfortably in your mouth, giving you the perfect crunch with every bite. This might seem like a small detail, but it's all part of the carefully engineered experience that makes Pringles so enjoyable. Now that the chips are perfectly shaped, they're ready for one of the most important steps in the entire process, frying them to perfection. Now that the Pringles have their iconic curved shape, it's time for one of the most important steps, frying. But unlike regular potato chips, which are fried in an unpredictable way, Pringles follow a highly controlled process to achieve their signature crispiness and light texture. Every chip goes through the same precise frying method to ensure that it comes out perfectly crunchy, never too oily, never too dry. As the shaped dough pieces move forward on the conveyor belt, they enter a massive industrial fryer filled with hot vegetable oil, heated to around 165 degrees Celsius, 329 degrees Fahrenheit. But here's what's surprising. Each chip is fried for only 11 seconds. That's right. While traditional potato chips stay in hot oil for much longer, Pringles require just a quick, controlled fry. This step is carefully timed so that every chip gets the exact same level of crispiness. This short frying time is crucial for several reasons. First, it removes excess moisture from the dough, ensuring that the chips become perfectly crispy without turning hard. Second, it prevents the chips from absorbing too much oil, keeping them light, airy, and less greasy than traditional chips. And third, it locks in the signature flavor and texture that makes Pringles so unique. This means that every chip delivers the same satisfying crunch when you bite into it. After frying, the chips are still too oily, so they go through a special air drying process. This step removes any leftover oil while keeping the chips fresh and crispy. Unlike regular potato chips, which often leave grease on your fingers, Pringles are much cleaner to eat, thanks to this precise drying method. Now that the chips are perfectly crispy and golden, they're ready for the next exciting step, the flavoring process, where Pringles get their delicious, bold taste. Once the Pringles are perfectly fried and crispy, they move to the next step, seasoning. This is where they get their delicious flavors, from the classic original to bold options like sour cream and onion and spicy BBQ. But unlike regular chips, Where seasoning can be uneven, Pringles are coated with extreme precision. Right after frying, the warm chips enter a rotating drum, where a fine mist of seasoning powder is evenly distributed. This drum continuously spins, ensuring that every chip gets a perfect, uniform coating. Since Pringles are all the same size and shape, this process guarantees that each bite delivers the exact same taste and intensity, whether it's cheesy, spicy, or tangy. After seasoning, the chips move forward on the production line, maintaining their neat stacks. With their flavors locked in, they're now ready for the final step, stacking and packaging, to ensure they stay fresh and unbroken until they reach your hands. With the chips now crisp and evenly seasoned, they move forward along the conveyor belt, maintaining their neat formation. This stage is crucial because Pringles are not randomly packed like traditional chips. Instead, they go through a carefully controlled process to ensure they remain perfectly stacked and unbroken. As the chips travel, they enter a precision stacking mechanism. This machine is designed to gently guide each chip into place, aligning them in a perfect pile without any breakage. Since Pringles are all the same shape and size, this stacking system works with incredible accuracy, ensuring that every chip fits seamlessly on top of the other. The curved design of Pringles isn't just for appearance. It allows them to nest into each other smoothly, preventing shifting and damage. Once neatly stacked, the chips are directed into the iconic Pringles can. The can's cylindrical shape and sturdy material provide strong protection, unlike traditional bags that can be crushed or filled with broken pieces. As the stacks move through the packaging line, they are carefully placed inside the can without disrupting their alignment, ensuring a satisfying, organized presentation when opened. To preserve their crispiness, the next step is sealing. Each can is fitted with an airtight foil seal, which acts as a protective barrier against moisture and air. This keeps the chips fresh for a long time. Finally, a plastic lid is placed on top, allowing the can to be resealed after opening, so the chips remain crunchy for multiple servings. In the last stage, the cans go through labeling and packaging. Each one is wrapped with branding, flavor details, and product information before being packed into boxes for shipping. The final product is then loaded onto trucks and distributed worldwide. By the time you grab a can of Pringles, every chip inside has gone through a meticulous, well-planned process to guarantee freshness, crunch, and perfect stacking every single time. Pringles are not just chips. They are a scientific masterpiece. From mixing the perfect dough to shaping, frying, seasoning, and packaging, every step follows a precise process to ensure they are uniform, crunchy, and delicious. Unlike regular chips that break easily and come in greasy, half-empty bags, Pringles are designed for perfection. Their unique shape, careful stacking, and airtight packaging keep them fresh and unbroken, giving you the same satisfying crunch in every bite. So, the next time you pop open a can of Pringles, remember, you're not just eating a snack, you're enjoying the result of decades of food science and innovation. Which Pringles flavor is your favorite? Let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing content.